Good morning, and welcome to the Bold Breakthroughs with Business Experts. I'm Catherine Ann Clayton, and I'm a business strategist. I help driven entrepreneurs make more money in their business by creating top tier clients and by doing it for themselves. What I found out in the business world, I was in corporate forever, is that too many driven people were so busy making other people money. And so I knew that I could change that if I left my high paying corporate job and went into business for myself. So that is what I do. But today is not about me. Today is about one of my guest speakers who is a business expert, and she's in health and wellness, and her name is Vanette Grover. Now, we met I guess a year ago now.
Almost a year.
It was a year, yeah. So Vanette, I'm going to let you jump in here. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do to help people out.
Hey there, everybody. So good to be with you today, Catherine Ann. Thank you so much for having me. And before I get started too far, I'd love to know, what do you all love about this woman? What do you love about Catherine Ann Clayton? Because I have learned so much from her over the last year, and the fact that she's doing these shows and helping other people just blows my mind. I mean, day in and day out. What did I tell you? I told you you're a saint. You're a saint. That's what I sent you a message on.
Well, can you send that message to my family and my teenagers, please, and tell them that?
We are recording this.
Yes, we are recording. This is live, baby. This is live.
I'm Kat, your mother. Yeah.
You know, I will tell you that I got the idea from a friend of mine that I work with in business, and it was really about highlighting some good people in the industry that nobody else may not know. I mean, I have people on my list that may not know who Vanette Grover is, and now they're going to know who you are. So that's what it's about. So tell us what you do. Tell me, I know what you do, but the audience doesn't.
Sure. Well, everyone, I am from rural Northeast Iowa. I'm a farm wife. I'm a mom of 3 adult kids, including my special girl who keeps me in line all the time. You may hear a random horse or cow back here. We're currently down in Kansas City at the American Royal showing cutting horses, and this was the spot I could find. So, again, thank you for that.
We love the spot. It's great.
Yeah,
love the American flags in the back. That's great.
I'm all about country, so I thought that might be cool. So anyway, besides being a farm wife, I'm a leader in my direct sales company. I'm a business and life coach. I do courses. I do all kinds of things. But I just really love helping people get going in any kind of business. And I love leveraging social media to do that as well. That's been kind of fun, because back in the day when I was a student at Iowa State University, I got a degree in marketing, but that was 30 odd years ago.
Yes, we need to.
I'm in the 50 group here, but back then they didn't have this kind of marketing. And I went on into education and worked with youth and volunteers and leadership development, all of that for a little over 20 years. And then now that I've come back full circle, this has been so fun to apply, marketing in the social media arena. And in doing that, I found my love for coaching and helping people get their businesses started, get their whatever their aspirations are, all of that. So I kind of do whatever people need. I'm here. I'll help you.
So there you go. So you can help people that are maybe struggling with some life issues and business issues. And tell me if you've noticed this, because I've noticed this with the clients that I work with. They come to me because I'm the money girl. You know that. I love sales. I love doing sales. That's really kind of my niche. That's how I started in corporate America. And I love it. And a lot of people are afraid of sales. Mm-hmm. But money is what drives your business. Money is what gets you up in the morning. Now, I'm not saying that that's all you do your business for, because I believe that money, and my coach says money is not for getting things, it's for changing things. And so when we can change things, whether it's your personal life, your weight, your whatever, I know that you have a journey that I'm going to highlight here. Vanette used to be, and I'm just going to say it because my tagline is be bold. Vanette used to be really big and fat, right?
I did. And I still got work to do. I've still got a ways to go. I mean, look at this. Oh yeah.
Oh no, but
It's a journey.
show your pictures, you really have a transformation. And I think in that transformation, part of your mind had to transfer.
Oh, totally.
Whatever
It was more than a physical thing. It really had to do with the inside. What's in here and what's in here. And that was key to all of it. And really that was key to what brought me around to realizing, all right, I've got a lot more I need to be giving the world.
But that's where I wanted to go. So that's where this life and business coach happened, and where you can help people, change their lives, because it's not all about the money. It's not all about business. It's kind of a big plethora of stuff that all go together.
Oh, it is. And I wanted to comment when you brought up, the money and business thing. If there's not money attached to it, it's just a hobby.
Right.
So we are business people. We love helping people. Absolutely. That is the core. The core is serving. But to do it in a way that you can provide for your family, your needs, and then be able to give, which is where you are headed, be able to give while you're on that journey is awesome. And I was just looking, this is one of my favorite shirts. And I commented in some of your little stuff this morning saying we were going live that I was bringing my favorite and bestest business attire.
There you go. Hey,
your business can look like anything. For me, it's all about word shirts, messaging shirts. Messaging is my jam. This did not used to be me.
Really? Tell us more about that.
I was in a mindset where I avoided everything. Now, I am a natural introvert. I mean, you see me talking on this. I can talk behind a computer screen till the cows come home, and literally because we have cows. But the point is...
and literally because we have cows.
Yeah, I just heard one move back here, too. Anyway, being an introvert means, you kind of like being home. You don't like big crowds. And I keep a very small circle. You're in that circle, my dear. But going out, I wasn't crazy about going out. My husband would say, hey, let's go out to supper with so-and-so. And I'd be like, nope, just can't do it. Nope, I don't think so. It's just not the right night. Just don't feel it. Or my kids, and this gets to some of what I wanted to talk about today too, was anytime they wanted to do something, my answer was always no. That was the first thing I said, no. Because I dream up all of these kind of things that could maybe go wrong. And I like keeping you home too. I like being home. Sorry about that. I like being home, so you should want to be home too. But it was because I was creating stories around everything. And so the whole introvert thing is one part of it. But the other part of it is you just hide. I wore a mask. I got the happiest of husbands, happiest of kids, but I wore a mask. So I would fake happy out in public, but inside, turmoil, insecurity, fears, all of those things that you and I, help people with.
Right. So, and so would you say did you ever see yourself as being this coach and helping other people get out of their despair, that's what I'm going to call what you were in? When you don't want to do anything, you're pretty much just, in disparity. Would you say that when you found your company and you found these products that helped you kind of start feeling better about yourself, is that when you realized that you could really help other people?
I would say, yeah, because at the same time I was having, physical transformation, kind of an emotional and inner transformation. I was having a spiritual one too. I was getting real with my Lord because I'd been saying the words, doing the do, but not feeling it. And as that came around as well, that's when my purpose started showing up. And I think you and I, we've talked about this before. We both know that sometimes figuring out that purpose, we can't do by ourselves.
Right.
And you and I both had a common coach, plus we've had some additional coaches, and helping people navigate that purpose, to finding that purpose. Because Catherine Ann, everybody looks outside of themselves for their purpose. Oh, I need to be like him. I need to be like her. I need to... No. When you were created Okay, I am a faith girl, obviously, but the Almighty put your purpose
That's all right.
inside.
A year ago, I would have said, don't talk about this on my show. Now I've transformed as well, and I do talk about
I talk about whatever comes out of my mouth. But anyway,
it. Right.
he put that purpose, he folded it up neatly, and he tucked it deep inside. So it wasn't about going out there to find it. It was about going in here. He tucked it in where you can find it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's discovering that. It's really that discovery process of yourself. And I used to think all of this was a bunch of foo-foo, woo-hoo.
Woo-woo stuff. Yeah.
No, people. It is the key. It is the key. So to help people discover that in themselves, I think is one of the most powerful things we can do.
It was really interesting. I think back to when I first hired our similar coach that we had a while ago. I said to him in our interview, look, I don't want to talk about God. I don't see that God has any place in business. So let's not go there. Of course, I didn't know that he was a very faithful man.
Yes.
No idea. And here I am just blurting out. And then to see me involved through that transformation. And then, we both have moved on from him, and I have a business coach now, and I just hired another mindset coach. And so I've got two coaches now. And that is really, now I looked in my mindset coach for somebody that had that faith, which was very weird for me. But I think that we have to remember as business owners is that it is a journey and it's not the destination.
Isn't that the truth? And it's just taking one step at a time, because here's what gets me. In my online business, and I know you've been in online before as well, you may still be, I should know that. But anyway, everybody stresses. You got to know where you're heading. You got to have your big goal. You got to have your why. Well, come on, everybody's most close why is usually their family or the bills they pay or all of that. So I don't get all caught up in that. But everybody's telling you, where are you headed? Oh, I'm going to be at the top of the company. Oh, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, that's great. But if you don't have the little steps to get there, that's just blowing a lot of smoke.
Right.
So I really help people, and I know you do as well. It's about taking that next step and that next step. Because when you focus on the next steps, should something happen, you can pivot, and you can pivot quickly. You're not so focused on the end game that you can't see the little steps to get you there. And when you look at what happened in our country this spring, some people were really thrown off by how am I going to get to that end game? Because now all of a sudden we're stuck in a different place that we're unfamiliar with. No, focus on that next step. Steve has been great for us. Steve is wonderful. I still have some time with Steve. So Steve, though, taught me that even if you don't think you know the next step, you've got to ask yourself, but if you knew the answer, what would it be?
Right.
If you knew, what would it be? That's powerful, because we can all say, well, I don't know. I have no idea. Well, part of coaching people is helping them navigate, well, if you knew, what do you think it would be? And that's a huge, 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 huge thing.
Now, let me ask you this. How important, I know what my answer is, and I think I know what your answer is. How important is it, do you think, that somebody new out there starting in this online world, direct marketing, a business from ground up, whatever you want to create for yourself, how important do you think it is that they have a coach?
Before I had a coach, I didn't know the power of having a coach.
Right.
Before I had the coach, I was the know-it-all that can do anything on my own. I don't need help. That's a bunch of baloney. But you don't know what you don't know. So as soon as I kept hitting this spot, it's like, all right, I got to get some help to figure this out. I don't know what the next thing is, because I didn't even know to say, but if you did know, what would you do? So that's a golden nugget, people. Believe it or not, that's a golden nugget. If you
I get into a lot of people that come back with the excuse of, I don't have the money, I can't invest, I don't have this. But what I've really found out, and what I've really dug deep with these people, is if this is really important to you, then you're going to find the money.
Yeah.
And, it may not be top on your priority, and that's okay. But you need to, and me, how bold I am, you need to admit that this isn't top of my priority. Don't sit here and BS me and tell me that you really want to do it, but you're not willing to invest, because I'll work with you on the money.
Right.
And I will tell you that when I hired my new coach in March, I didn't know how I was going to get the money. And it wasn't $100 deal. But I believed enough in her and in her believing in me that I would figure out the money.
Yeah.
And it's happened for me, and I have done that. And actually, when COVID happened, I tripled my business, which is just crazy. So it is possible in downturn. I really think that in this, and you tell me what you think, I really think in this downturn, this is the time to ramp it up and create what you've always wanted to create, but you can't because you're sitting in an office from 9 to 5, listening to your boss going, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And now you've got some time, nobody behind your shoulder, breathing down your back, watching what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. So your business tripled, which is fantastic. Mine doubled, which was also fantastic.
Yeah.
At the same time, I pulled away a little bit from coaching clients because my other business was growing. And guess what happened? Coaching clients came anyway.
Yeah. So, well, you're good at what you do, and you're good at inspiring people. And we've had some really deep conversations, and we've had some, things where I'm like, this isn't working for me. What do I do? Where do I go? And you've pulled me out of that sea of mudness where I'm sinking in the quicksand. And I think vice versa. There's sometimes where you're just like, oh, and what I want people, our audience out there to know is that everybody goes through that. Every time you level up to the next level, which is where I am, you're like, is this for me? Is this for me? And it's all these little voices in your head that are saying, you can't do this, you can't do this. You need to tell those little voices to shut up.
Exactly. Kick them to the curb.
Yes.
Them to the curb. But it takes several cycles of that happening before you realize, oh, crap, I'm creating stories. I'm living in, the second storm versus getting through the storm to the other side.
Right,
and that's what I'm going to provide your audience with today. I've got a resource that I'll put in the comments when we're done about how you got to be aware of that second storm. Because
I love that.
Growing in your business, whether it's anything you're facing, think about all those things we can't control. Shoot, here in Iowa, a week ago, a derecho went through.
Right, I heard that. One of my best friends lives in Iowa.
Right.
She was like, we had a hurricane, and I'm like, whatever, a hurricane doesn't come in Iowa.
Marion, Cedar Rapids, they got hammered like crazy, but a 40-mile, they call it an inland hurricane. Who has ever heard of an inland hurricane? We are in freaking Iowa. A hurricane?
Right.
It was the equivalent of a 40-mile wide tornado that went through and went 700 miles.
Yeah.
This is an agricultural state. I know the cities got hit as well, but we drove through it yesterday. Crops laying flat. 43% of Iowa's crops got hit by this derecho that nobody had ever even heard of before.
Yeah, my friend's 150-year-old barn to the ground.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the first storm. We have no control over that. And let's just think of something smaller. Let's think of you and I have kids. No matter where you're at in your kiddage growing up, have your kids ever thrown a fit?
Mine never.
So good.
Right. Yes.
But we couldn't control necessarily what that first storm was from them. But have you ever caught yourself yelling back?
Right. Right.
That's when you know I'm serious. That's the second storm, though. Because often when we yell back, that just escalates everything.
Right.
So even when these things happen to us, whether it's job insecurity, a virus, all the things we create as the reaction, that's the second storm. And folks, when you're in the middle of a thunderstorm, let's say you're out at a park in a thunderstorm, do you go run under a tree? No, that's a bigger issue. So be careful where you run, be careful what you do, but fear is what gets us tied up in all of those second storms. And, you know, fear is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
False
Well,
evidence.
and I'm also learning about the brain and the neuroscience and things like that. And, you know, our brain loves to have temper tantrums.
Yes.
And loves to tell you, you can't do this, you can't do this. And so I'm working with my clients about, you know, making a list of all the things that are negative that pop in your brain in a day. If it pops in twice, tally it. And then we're going further and deeper into how we can reprogram your brain and fix that. And it's actually been working for me.
That's,
you know, and I'll tell you, at 6:15 when that alarm went off today, because I was, you know, 50s, you know, what happens at 50s, we start waking up all night, hours of the night. And I was up at like 4:15 to 5, fell back to sleep. At 6:15 when it went off, my little brain was going, you don't need to exercise. You've done it for 12 days straight. You don't need to exercise. And I was like, no. And I'm like talking to myself. If anybody else thought was around, they would think I was crazy. I'm like, no, I need to get up. I still lay there. The temper tantrum still was holding me. And finally I was like, I'm done. I'm getting up, and I did it. So, you know, and then going down the street, I'm yelling at my mind when my mind is going, just stop. You're tired. No, I'm not tired. You know, I'm sure my neighbors think I'm psychotic because I'm screaming in the middle of the street. But, well, so it's kind of time for us to kind of get this down. But, you know, I know that Vanette, you know, is open to people that want to visit with her. She is going to have a freebie and what's it called? Getting out of the storm.
Be aware of the second storm.
Be aware of the second storm. I am going to definitely get that. She's going to put it in the links down below. And then I have for this week the client building profile secrets, which is going to help you get clients from your profile. And so until next week, y'all have a wonderful weekend or day today, and we will see you on the next Bold Breakthroughs with Business Experts. Bye-bye. Thank you, Vanette.
Thank you, Catherine.